Blind dado construction is essentially making use of mortise and tenon joints. Cabinet Pro allows the making of mortise and tenon joints of one part into another rather easily and in a way so as to make your efficiency increase, labor decrease, and profits rise. In addition, we charge no extra fees for the ability to utilize standard or modified blind dado construction in highly custom cabinet design. And to make matters even better, no special tooling is necessary. A standard compression tool that you would normally use to cut out your parts is all that Cabinet Pro needs. As an example of how Cabinet Pro handles mortise and tenon construction, let's work on a simple wall cabinet. And assume we want to make a tenon on this cabinet's bottom deck insert into a mortise made on the cabinet's unfinished end. First, let's create the mortise on the unfinished ends. At the Cutting and Drilling Definition screen, we first create a simple dado cut, which will serve as our mortise on our unfinished end. In creating this dado cut, or mortise, we can give its width a constant value such as 1/4 of an inch that is equal to the diameter of the tool we are using. Or we can tell the program which part it will be inserted into this mortise and what percentage of that part's thickness we wish to use as the width of our mortise. We will then see our width of our mortise change to 33% of the thickness of our cabinet's bottom. We also define where we want the dado to start and where we want it to end. Finally, we check flush to edge, which will bring the dado cut into a position such that the bottom of the part being inserted into the mortise, the cabinet's bottom, will be flush with the bottom edge of the unfinished end. So although the width of the dado itself is relatively small, the distance from the bottom edge of our unfinished end to the far edge of the dado is equal to the thickness of the bottom deck, or in this case, 5/8 of an inch. This single machining operation may now be applied to a single custom cabinet, all wall units, all base units, all tall cabinets, all cabinets altogether, or any combination thereof. So if you build all of your uppers the same, for example, this mortise will be cut out on every unfinished end that is part of a wall unit. And if your material changes in thickness, the cuts for both this mortise and its tenon that we're about to make will be adjusted accordingly. Let's create the tongue or tenon on the cabinet's bottom that will fit into this unfinished end. Our tenon will become part of the profile or part cutout of the bottom when it is being cut out on the CNC router. After creating a new machining definition, we check the box that allows us to modify the shape of our profile cut. We will choose to create a corner notch, and then select the corner at which this notch should be made. Please note that the length of the notch we will make always references the length direction of the part we are viewing, and the width of the notch we will make always references the width direction of the part we are viewing. Since we are defining a notch at this corner, our dimension along the length of the part will be equal to the depth of the dado, or mortise, we made on our unfinished end. And our other dimension along the width of the part will be set to the corresponding distance where our mortise on our unfinished end begins. To create a second notch, we simply copy this definition and change the reference corner. But on this corner, we will tell the program to make the left tenon's thickness equal to the thickness of our choice. Notice that I made the part-dependent thickness of our tenon the same as the part-dependent width on the mortise I made earlier. This is an actual simulation of the profile cutout, where the notches are made, as well as the alteration of the thickness of our tenon, all done in one pass as the part is cut out. Finally, we simply copy the definitions on the left so that they also exist on the right. When we are finished, we will have a bottom deck whose tenon, shown here, will fit perfectly into the mortise of our unfinished ends. And now, all we have to do is design, and whatever changes we make to the cabinet will automatically have appropriate changes occur to our CNC code without us having to do any other adjustments whatsoever. Although we used a bottom deck and an unfinished end as an example, the entire process just demonstrated can be performed on as many parts as you wish and will allow you to very easily and automatically create mortise and tenon joints without any extra charges, without any special tooling, and without the headaches associated with complicated setups. And is one reason why Cabinet Pro is described as simply powerful.